Our whole focus is on finding out what the person's problem is and then suggesting a range of treatments that they may be interested in.
I feel fantastic. I have a different lease on life. I can wake up in the morning and I'm not preoccupied with something so insignificant as my hair.
And what they say at the National Hair Institute is so true. If you look good, you feel great and your confidence shows.
Today we'll be speaking to a wide variety of people about the subject of hair loss. History has shown us many solutions to male pattern baldness. The benefit for you today is that we've come a long way. Many of these past solutions either don't work or simply don't look natural. Today we show you the only hair loss solution that achieves a completely natural look, and most importantly, it's permanent. Male pattern baldness affects 40% of all men before the age of 40. In 95% of these cases, baldness is caused by hormones. Once hair loss begins, it continues in a natural progression. There aren't too many options for the prevention or concealment of hair loss. The hair loss industry is huge. There is no shortage of ways to either treat or conceal this natural progression known as hair loss. But there is no 100% cure. Using a hairpiece or wig was once one of the most popular methods of concealing hair loss. Other methods, such as hair implants, involved artificial fibres being inserted into the upper dermis of the scalp. Most methods available today require much ongoing maintenance. Now there's a permanent way to avoid the embarrassment of going bald and keep your youthful appearance. Keep watching to find out how.
We lose our hair because of our parents. We've got the wrong genes, and also because we're male. That's really what it's all about. And if you're female, you can lose your hair, but a much lesser percentage.
The main reasons that most of us lose our hair is because of what's called androgenetic alopecia, where we have a combination of two factors occurring, which is a set of genetic factors where we inherit a genetic predisposition to hair loss. The other factor is a hormone called DHT, which is a breakdown product of testosterone. It's created through an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase in our scalp hair follicles. What it does through its production is attacks genetically predisposed hair follicles, and we get a process of hair follicle miniaturization over a period of time. And then what we have happening is that the hair in those regions changes, and there are a number of different events that occur. We have this progressive miniaturization of the hair follicles, so we have more hairs in a shedding phase. The hairs that regrow become finer or thinner. They then start to sit flatter to the scalp, and then they can also become less pigmented as well.
So this is the problem. You've got the number of hairs being reduced, and you've also got the volume of hair being reduced because the diameter of the hair is less.
What we don't know for any one individual is how much hair loss they're going to have over their life and how rapidly they're going to get there. But the mechanism is one of genetics and hormones.
The hair loss in men is generally a receding pattern, a bitemporal recession there, and then the crown starts to go, and then they meet up and you get a typical U-shaped pattern of hair loss. The women tend to retain their front line, and then they thin through the top here.
The hairs in the back of an individual's scalp are DHT resistant, and they will continue to grow throughout your lifetime and stay healthy and DHT resistant throughout your lifetime. And this effect forms the basis of hair transplantation for us. It's a surgical procedure that involves us taking hair from someone's donor region at the back of the head where they have this DHT resistant hair, and then relocating it to areas in which they're undergoing male or female pattern hair loss.
There are of course other methods to prevent androgenetic alopecia. Minoxidil is a topical solution applied twice daily. Finasteride is a drug which blocks the formation of DHT. These are two of the only medically proven methods of prevention of hair loss. Just like most medications, these methods don't work for everybody. The National Hair Institute understand this. They also understand that these methods can be expensive in the long term, and of course are not permanent.
Certainly, historically, there's been a number of different things that have been used in terms of trying to restore hairlines and improve androgenetic alopecia, particularly for males. In the past, there's been the usage of things such as scalp reductions and rotational flap grafts that have been done. From there, we progressed through to then the stages of punch grafts which were done.
And typically at that time we were transplanting 4 to 5 millimetre grafts containing 15 to 25 hairs. And that's typical of the dots and the rows that you'll see with the old transplants. Then it was quarter grafts and then mini grafts, and now we've got follicular unit grafting in which the hair is transferred exactly as it's growing, be it 1, 2 or 3 hairs. This is the smallest graft that we can put in that will give us 95 to 100% growth. The beauty of hair transplantation is that it is permanent. The hair will continue to grow as long as it would have grown at the back.
I think the worst thing about losing your hair is your confidence level. You know, you're always checking, you wonder which way the wind's going to blow.
When I realised I had a condition at 21 which resulted in hair loss, unfortunately it interfered with most parts of my life.
I'd hate looking at reflections in shopping centres and cameras when entering Safeway, and it would just stress me more and more. The more as it got worse, the worse I felt, and I just knew I had to do something about it.
I did keep it to myself, and I did try and hide that from a lot of people. Apart from a few close family and friends who obviously, to try and make me feel better, assured me there was no problem, but evidently there was.
As the hair started to thin, I felt I was wearing caps a little bit more, and as the density lessened over the years, I got to the point where I couldn't actually brush the hair up anymore. I had to just comb it forward because there was no density left.
For me, it's very isolating. I guess being 21 years old, I was in an age bracket where there definitely wasn't hair loss issues amongst men or women. And then adding to that, I was female. There was no female hair loss that I'd ever heard about or known about. You know, when you go out, you wear a dress, you wear your hair down. It represents how you feel as a woman, and I didn't have the opportunity to do that.
It made me feel stressed. It made me feel old. I started to lose confidence.
I just felt I would look better and younger had I had a full head of hair. So that was my reason for doing it.
I was looking at all the different procedures that were around. I didn't want to be popping pills all the time or applying things to my hair, and I was looking for a solution that was going to be permanent and that would, you know, it'd give me a lot more confidence and make me feel good about the decision I made.
There wasn't a lot of material there for me to reference for women's hair loss, which is why I'm here today. I feel that if somebody can use this information and my results to encourage them to go ahead with the treatment, then it would be fantastic for them, as it was for me.
I did request information from about 3 different places, and out of all the ones I received, it was National Hair Institute that seemed the most genuine and the most informative, and that's the reason I ended up going for an appointment with them.
National Hair Institute gave me some options that I could consider for the replacement of my hair that I'd lost. It gave me an option to recover from a condition that was beyond my control. It was taking over my life and really holding me back from being the person that I really wanted to be.
They make you feel very comfortable and confident that you're going to be under the best possible care.
In terms of shopping around, no, I didn't, because I figured the product I saw in front of me was very good, so I went for it.
The thing I liked the most is there was absolutely no pressure. I mean, they just sat there and said, this is the deal, this is what we can do, this is how much it will cost, and they just left it up to me from that point on.
It was really funny because when I went in for the procedure, I was so nervous and I had all these built-up anticipations of what it was going to be, and then I must admit, once it actually started underway, I think I fell asleep.
Initially I was worried about the pain before and after the procedure, but for me, I'd definitely consider having the operation again. It was completely painless. I felt comfortable the whole way.
All those built-up pre-misconceptions totally went out the door, and I would do it again, wouldn't even hesitate.
With hair transplantation, there's no ongoing maintenance or ongoing costs. I mean, what you pay for is basically on the day of the procedure, and yeah, the rest is just keeping the head of hair for the rest of your life.
The biggest thing that it does is actually give me an opportunity to dress the way that I want to. I definitely found myself wearing a lot of hats and a lot of headbands and things that would cover the area, which changes what you wear. You can't exactly go out on a Saturday night wearing a dress and high heels with a baseball cap on.
Since I've actually had the procedure done, it's totally changed my life. I'm a lot more confident. I can walk into auditions or on stage and I don't even bat an eyelid now, and I'm a lot more confident with the women too. It's great.
Got into the stage where I actually don't remember how it felt to have a thin head of hair. It feels like it's been a long time, but I've just gotten used to having hair again, and it certainly feels much better than being bald, I can say that much.
Go to the National Hair Institute's seminars, being informed about what they can convey to you, check out ex-patients of theirs to find out what the results are like. That's what I did, and I've never looked back. And as I've said to guys, they should invest in themselves as opposed to just bricks and mortar, because it's something that is permanent and it's a result that put a smile on their face for the rest of their lives.
When a patient comes to us, he sees John, the counsellor, so he can see exactly what the hair looks like that's growing, because John's had a procedure, and he can make decisions about whether this is what he wants. We also invite them to seminars so that they can see other patients that have had it done and talk to them privately if that's what they'd like to do. There is no pressure. They make the decision up about what they want to do.
The difference is really around the honesty that's applied here. Most feedback is that they appreciate the fact that we aren't pushy, that we quite literally give them as much information as possible and they can make a genuine decision on the information that they've now gained.
The head office is in Melbourne, and that's where all the surgery is done, but we do consult in Sydney and also Gold Coast and Brisbane and transport the patients here so that they can have the procedure.
By just performing surgery in Melbourne and having a stable and constant team with us that are continually undergoing training, that we can provide very good results.
If they don't get 90% growing of what we've put in, then we'll put more hair in without charge to the patient. The National Hair Institute uses state-of-the-art surgical equipment and has adhered to the best practices in the industry to provide our clients with the most positive experience. A positive experience can arise from a wide variety of factors. At the National Hair Institute, we pride ourselves in our service and giving our clients a surgical procedure that produces a fantastic result with minimal discomfort. Most clients that we have performed surgery on admit that their initial reluctance to the pain of surgery was not warranted. In fact, 97% of our clients surveyed post-operatively said they would be less apprehensive if they had surgery again. This result comes from surgery performed by highly experienced doctors assisted by a professional team. Today we've got the fortunate situation of being able to talk to a patient during surgery. Because we've used local anaesthetic, the patient is awake and able to listen to music, watch television or movies. Today's patient is Erkan, and he is a Norwood 4. In other words, he's lost quite a bit of hair.
Well, it was in my mid-20s that I sort of realised that something was going wrong up there. At that age, you sort of, you brush it to the side, say, nah, look, I'm losing a bit here and there, but, I'll live through it. But gradually, when you get older, it's sort of, you can see the scalp showing through the hair. The confidence sort of goes downhill and the social life sort of minimises. You want to look good when you go out. I wore a cap, grew my hair long. What I saw on the transplant was it gives good results. It looks natural, that's how I see it. I mean, obviously it is your own hair from another section of your scalp, but in the end, seen from other pictures from other patients, that it does look natural. The benefits, firstly, it's going to look fuller on top, and secondly, I won't be wearing a cap. That's it, there's another thing, and hopefully my social life will sort of, get better as time goes on. If it's going to make you happy in the end, just do it, don't listen to other people. In the end, it's how you see it and how you're going to feel.
This operation is a first for National Hair Institute, and I believe the first that is being done in Australia, where we are combining a follicular unit extraction of taking small grafts out of the donor area, as well as doing follicular unit grafting. Because of the flexibility of Erkan's scalp and also the density of his hair, I believe that we'll get in excess of 5,000 grafts today.
How is it going to change my life after the operation or after the final result? Well, hey, I haven't used wax for a long time. Well, there's a start. I might have a hairstyle. And yeah, I'm going to throw away the hat. There's another one, and start going out. Just enjoying life with a full head of hair.
Improve your confidence. Join the thousands of National Hair Institute patients who are enjoying a new lease on life. Beat hair loss today. For an obligation-free consultation, call the team at the National Hair Institute.